What have we here? You heard my call. You're imbalanced, Whoopsie.
Hank, what is Scruffy looking for stuff? It calls to you.
Okay, good evening, explorers, and welcome to episode 11. I hope you've all had a fantastic week. As always, I'm joined by the galactic legend himself, the old Jedi, all the way from Kansas. It's Jimmy.
Howdy.
Also, finally, it's the lady who cares for all the species, including Wampa rats and Rancors and Wampas. It's Commander Taylor herself.
Hello.
And as normal, the rose between two thorns, it's me, Jack. So, everybody, we'll start with you, Jimmy. How's your week been?
We just drove 20 hours yesterday, so that was a lot. We made it, though, and I jacked up our review of what we're going to talk about today. You know, we got together, we recorded, it was awesome, and I messed it all up with my new technology, so I learned a valuable lesson. Don't use anything new until you've tested it. So, yeah,
yes.
I'm glad to be home in Pennsylvania. Been a good week so far.
Awesome.
How about you, Jack?
Yeah, not too bad. I enjoyed doing the Ahsoka trailer preview talk as well. Just like
it was a warm up for today.
Just like Tenacious D, this is just a tribute to it. It was the greatest one. Unfortunately, the explorers out there won't see it, but take it from us, it was the best one ever.
It was. We were yelling and screaming, and yeah, it was good. We're so excited.
Fantastic. But yeah, another week. My week's been fine. Busy at work as always. Ready to go again for another week. Taylor, what about you? How's your week been?
It's been really good. It's been super hot though. But I did finish off the High Republic's book series for Phase 2. So I'm done, and I just started High Republic Phase 1, and I've already come to know 2 characters that have just died instantly right away. So I'm like, oh god, this is what this is going to be like. Oh my gosh. It's been a good week. As always.
Brutal. Prepare yourself because there's a lot more.
No.
Yeah, you're just getting started on that one. So.
I know. Like, how did they make you fall in love with 2 random characters? Like, one, oh, she's been a pilot all her life. This is her back life. This is what she's thinking. Gone. And then, oh, this guy, he's in love with this beautiful woman who seems to like him back after work today. Gone. Like, oh, no.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job of making you care about the characters that you know for about, a chapter.
Yeah, jeez.
But, well, it sounds like everyone had a really good week. Let's get into our Force encounters. I'll go ahead and start. Like I told you guys last week, I walked into the door after being on the road for 20 hours, and my nephew Hank just starts drilling me with Star Wars questions.
Yeah,
he was super mad because he's like, "What are the 2 Sith's name in the Ahsoka trailer?" I'm like, "Well, there are no Sith," and he's like, "Yes, there are." So we got into it there, and then he bombarded me with Mace Windu versus Yoda, and he's like, "Yeah, I smoked some guy on this," and I was like, "Well, Mace taps into the dark side, and therefore he's not really that great of a Jedi." And my nephew's head about melted, but I was ready for him. I was pumped. I was real nervous. So my Force encounter was dealing with my nephew Hank this week.
Awesome. So if you're listening, Hank, Jimmy 1, Hank 0.
Yeah.
What about
Taylor?
you,
Do you have any?
No, I didn't really have any genuine Force experiences or encounters this week. Honestly, it was just the trailer and getting 16 messages from you guys saying, "Get on right now!" Like, we're recording right now. It just came out 2 hours ago, and I'm like running out to my car with all of my zoo stuff, and I'm like in dying hot heat because my car has been sitting on the heat. And then we got to talk about the trailer and get all excited about it, all to not have any of it usable footage. But that was a good half an hour of my day that day. So I guess that was my Force experience. It was with you guys.
Yeah, nothing from me either, really, to be honest. I had the same thing, but again, As we keep saying, Jimmy ruined it for the both of us. So.
Ruined it for all of our explorers that weren't there.
Sorry, explorers.
That's okay. Just some rogue headphones, you know.
Oh, they got thrown in the garbage.
Makes us stronger. Okay, so let's see what news we have coming from Batuu. Well, looks like we have over 160,000 actors have gone on strike now, with stars walking out at the premiere of Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. This is the first time in 63 years that both groups have been on strike. I think that, we've talked about a few things and about, some of the other news we have, but we're going to feel this in a few months when there's nothing new on TV. There's nothing new. Even award shows can't go right now. I mean, this is affecting everything. So it should be interesting how this works itself out. But it's cool to see the actors appreciating the writers.
Well, think about it. Like right now is like the hardest time ever to write a new story because so many have already been told. Like there's so many just remakes of everything coming out. There's more remakes coming out these days than there is new original stories. So now it's the hardest time of ever, and they deserve it. They deserve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, in other news, Bob Iger has come out and said that they are slowing down the release of Disney content with his new cost containment initiative. So he says he's going to slow down on releases. My theory is, how can you slow down on zero? I mean, we haven't had any new movies going on a few years now. So we'll see how that was kind of a bummer to hear him come out and say all that stuff.
No end of famous actors and that have come out and called him out. James Gunn being one of them, mentioning how much he's been making per year, and it doesn't even equate to something like a tenth of what the lowest paid worker works out at Disney. It is shocking, but like you said, Jimmy, it's good that they're all coming together and making a stand regardless, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't have any of this content if it wasn't for the writers, the actors, and so they should get paid what they're owed. And it leads us on to the next piece of news that we've got. So Andor, Mando, and Kenobi earned a combined 22 nominations at the Emmys. So let's hope the Force is with them on those awards. However, like Jimmy's already said, will people turn up to claim these awards? I don't think it will go ahead personally, because I think it's September time. Start of September, from off the top of my head, when it goes ahead.
Yeah, I don't think they will, because they're not going to be allowed to write the scripts for the shows.
Yeah.
So big shake up ahead. But that's pretty much all the main news for this week. Right, so this week then, Explorers, as you know, the new Ahsoka trailer has come out. We're going to watch it again together. We're going to watch the first 36 seconds or so, and then we'll quickly break it down chunk by chunk. We'll chuck in some discussions, we'll have a little chat, and then we'll move on. Again, please leave any comments, your thoughts, predictions as normal on the socials for us. Here we go.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create. We are no Jedi.
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
Cool, amazing. So that's about the 1000th time I think that we've all watched it. All right, so Jimmy, start us off.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create. Man, I was like, whoa. So I want to know what happened to this guy. Like, he's got a story. This makes me even sadder that this guy, that Ray Stevenson has passed away, because I feel like there is a lot to unload with this guy, because he's a Jedi. Like, he's not a Sith, right? He's not a Jedi. Obviously, he says that we are no Jedi.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? I mean, just saying that, like, to hear a Jedi, Sith, like someone in the middle.
I don't think they're Sith. Yeah. I I don't think they're Sith. I think there was something that came out. Dave Filoni came out saying that he purposely made their lightsabers orange, so not red. So I guess if you look at it really closely, then maybe you can see. I don't know, but we don't know who these people are.
I think with Dave Filoni, not saying I know him, but how I know him. First thing, actually, just backtracking, Balin. If Jimmy grows his beard a slight bit more and goes full grey, we've got Balin on the team straight away, Jimmy. That guy is you, regardless. That's your twin brother. Anyway, Filoni.
I was like waiting for this super serious.
100%. I think, and this might be absolutely crazy, but I think they're sort of not undercover. I don't think they're Sith, but I think they've got their own separate plan. And this power that they're talking about, especially in this trailer, and again, I know Taylor's going to talk about it in a minute, I think somehow Thrawn has somehow found a way, because obviously we know he's super clever or whatever, he's found a way to use the space whales, essentially.
Well, they are in this. I mean, towards the end of the trailer, you see them and they look amazing.
So,
massive.
And we've seen it with the High Republic, how powerful of a tool it is to sort of manipulate hyperspace and land attacks here and there. Now, if you've got that power, and someone like Thrawn's controlling that power, and Balin knows about it, I think that's the case. I don't think Balin and Shin are wanting anything to do with the Empire as such. I think they're going to start their own order, and it's not going to be Jedi, it's not going to be Sith. So I think they've got their own intentions.
Dang.
Now, we know that the Magistrate and obviously Mando have already come together. So yeah, we'll let you take over that, Taylor, because I know you've got some theories on Morgan Elsbeth.
Morgan Elsbeth, tough name, by the way. I don't know. Let's talk. We first met her in Mando season 2 when Ahsoka is already so far into her search for Thrawn that she's at the point where she's about to take down a whole village. Like she's in the thick of it looking for Thrawn. This isn't like the start. She's already there. She's about to take down that whole village. She's about to start a little war. But the whole time we're thinking, who is this woman? The Magistrate? Who is she? And we still don't really know who she is and what her connection is to Thrawn. But it looks like she is on her own path to finding him because she has this cool, crazy map. She knows how to use these ruins, I'm guessing, as we see in the trailer when they're it looks like the shot is kind of like bird's eye view flying over. Could be an old temple or something maybe related to World Between Worlds. I don't know. It kind of looks the same, right? But if you look really closely at the bottom of the page, when she's using this power to create this 3D map, what do we see, Jimmy? What do we see at the bottom of the page?
Some green flame that we usually is associated with some witches we know.
Yeah, the witches of Dathomir. So we know that they're all gone because was it Grievous and his droid army that came and destroyed them after the whole Asajj Ventress episode in Clone Wars. The witches have been like decimated, and then we see them again in Jedi Fallen Order, the game, and they're all still dead, but the one witch still kind of has, Merrin still has her power, and it's still green. So, I mean, there might be a couple of other witches that escaped. Maybe that's what she is, and she's using her power. And I kind of think that when Balin says, this is more power than you can ever imagine, I don't think he's talking about the Force or anything like that. I think he's actually talking about, like, the witches of Dathomir. I think we're going to get a little throwback to that, but I don't think it's going to last long. I have a feeling they're going to, like, axe her pretty quick into the season. I don't know.
What about you, Jimmy? What? Any more thoughts on the first 36 seconds or so?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'd like the fact that Shin Hati does a force run We've seen one time with Kenobi and Qui-Gon, and it has been, people have complained about it since, 1999 or whatever this came out, or 2001. So it's good. This is what I love about Dave Filoni, just little things like that, because they're sitting there and he's like, I am no Jedi, and then all of a sudden she just takes off. So I think we get to see a Force run again, which is pretty awesome. But I think there's a lot to unpack, and we'll see if any of these theories are right or wrong, or it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
totally agree. And again, this is one for you explorers. So if you go to the clip on about 29 seconds where Taylor's talking about the green flame, something interesting, and I'm going to do some research on this, and this is what I'm asking you explorers now. If you look at the right-hand part of the screen, the magistrate's got like a buckle with an icon on it. That icon, let's research and see where that icon comes from, because there's a lot of things in this trailer, little golden nuggets that you'll only see if you keep pressing play, pause, play and pause. Literally. Now this could be nothing, but this could be something. Again, I'm not saying I know Dave Filoni, but with the amount of stuff that I've seen him do, this is probably something, especially that icon. Who knows?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, we'll see. Interesting choice of ship as well that they arrived on. The Emperor's, not the Emperor's shuttle, but an Empire shuttle as well.
It looks like a Lander class shuttle too.
Yeah, so what was it? Apparently, it was like a peacekeeping ship. So they fly in, tricking them that they're coming peacefully. Ambassador ship or something like that. Sorry, I can't think of the name right now. But they're using it as like a peace cover to just sail into wherever they are, and then they just destroy. It looks like our Republicans or our
an ETA class shuttle. So who knows? Who knows? Right. Okay. What we're gonna do now then is watch the next couple of minutes on YouTube.
Okay, watch it with us.
Okay, so we're going to watch the next little bit now. Here we go.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
You and I both know who could help you with this.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him. Just like I walked away from Sabine.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that's the next little bit done. All right, so Taylor, I know you're chomping at the bit, so start us off.
Okay. I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one. So Hera says that, as we know. And this hits hard for all of us because we know that Hera has been in a war her entire life. We know that from Clone Wars right down to the war on Ryloth with the Separatists coming and destroying their homes. And her father is he the chief or the general? And he's trying to...
Yeah, he's a commander,
Yeah. So her dad right away is in it. And as we know, there's some other shows where she's in it as you see her as a toddler, then we see her as a teenager. There's books. Was it the Rogue Squadron books? Am I completely wrong?
Yeah.
But there's that series that she's in trying to stop a war as well. Yeah. She knows her stuff, and she knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a line in there when she's talking about that. She kind of reminds me of Jyn Erso, when she's talking about trying to stop a war. What choice do we have, kind of deal. But you're right, Taylor. Man, if you haven't watched Clone Wars and you haven't watched Rebels, you're missing out.
Big time.
Because they build these characters up. I mean, that Y-wing, I think, is bombed right outside their house where she finds Chopper and everything when she was a kid. And
exactly.
So her life has been nothing but war. So it's pretty impressive.
She's a pretty amazing woman. I'd be on her side for sure. Or Twilight woman. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good as well. Again, with Ewan McGregor and co, all people in the family. Because obviously, the person that plays Hera is Ewan McGregor or Obi-Wan Kenobi's wife, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She looks incredible. Really, really fantastic
she looks
job.
Really good.
Awesome job. There's so many standout moments on the trailer. I'm just going to start us off on a quick little talking point. So, just going through that, if you look where Hera's chasing a ship that looks like, it's about 39 seconds in. The ship that she's firing at seems to be carrying something quite circular.
Yeah.
Now, to me, could this be a part of the Death Star? Maybe.
Oh.
As in the new one being built. Because we know, obviously, it's
Where I'm trying to convince
at the Mando part, isn't it? It's at the Mando part. So, yeah, there's something there that ship's carrying.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was something tied into that. She found something out, or because, I mean, we're getting closer and closer. Well, that's what I want to know, too, like the timeline, right? Because
it's in line with Mando. It's in line with Mando season 3.
Yeah.
So that's after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So think of it like 5 years, and then Grogu was gone
it wouldn't
for
be
like
the Death Star. It wouldn't be the Death
2
Star.
years.
Fucking rubbish. It could be the Star Killer. Star
Killer.
Killer.
That's what we're aiming for. So she's trying to prevent the First Order coming back, pretty much. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like Star Killer base or something like that. Because I do get. I mean, even though we obviously live and breathe this stuff, I do get a little bit confused on the timeline.
It's so confusing.
Rebels stuff, like you got the Rebels at the before, because the Ghost shows up at the Battle of Scarif, right?
It does. Yes.
There. Yeah.
It's
so
there.
it's there, and then it's also at the Battle of Exegol. So I mean, the ship can be all over the place. And now that we know Jason's showing up.
I haven't seen him yet, but we will.
Yeah. So, but again, another little interesting bit, not so much of an Easter egg, it's quite obvious. Well, it might not be obvious to some people, to be fair, is where she's talking to all the holograms, or the other council members, if you like, or members anyway, with Mon Mothma. It looks to be the same ship where they were all sat getting a debrief or a brief on Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, where the rest of the volunteers.
Yeah, the same circular design and stuff.
Well, is that Home One, or is that from?
It could be Home One.
No, or is it the Raddus? Because isn't Akbar's ship named after Admiral Raddus, like the Raddus, I think?
Yeah,
and then Home One is Raddus's ship. Yeah, so that's pretty cool tie-ins if it is, though.
Yeah, but yes, so very, very interesting. What else? The ships.
Who do we have on that? Oh, I was going to say, who do we have on that council or that? So that's the New Republic, group. The New Republic.
I recognize.
So,
there's two of them. Obviously, we all know Mon Mothma. I mean,
Genevieve O'Reilly is amazing.
O'Reilly. She has cameos in Rebels. She's obviously Return of the Jedi. Not Genevieve O'Reilly, but Mon Mothma, the character. And then obviously she was a big part of Andor. I'm assuming Andor season 2, and now she's on this, which is pretty crazy. And then I think right to her left is, what is his name? Hamato Ziono.
Okay.
Right, is that him? That's what is that?
Hamato Ziono.
Kaz's dad. So from the TV show or the animated show Star Wars Resistance.
Yeah. So Kaz is like the main pilot character, the main character. I haven't really watched enough to talk about it. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, his father. You see his father in the series, and now we're seeing his father in live action, which is pretty cool. I love they're connecting everything. They're even connecting their little kid shows and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But we have to remember that this is us seeing Mon Mothma after all of the events from A New Hope all the way through to Return of the Jedi, plus probably about 10 years is what we're seeing this series. So, I mean, that woman is aging well.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then look at Obi-Wan's aging from Alec Guinness. What was it like? Not even that long, and they're just all of a sudden it's like age drop. But no, I'm so excited to hear. I'm so excited to see. So
very interesting. The next thing, as always, for me, ships. Loads of awesome ships. We see a couple of new ones. So again, I know Jimmy loves the Ghost. We see Ahsoka's ship. What was it called again, Jimmy? T-Wing, did I say? Yeah, T-Wing.
T-Wing.
Yeah. We see them. We see the three of them in the cockpit, and then also a little bit of cool canon is Sabine when she's racing along the bridge. We see the E-wing.
The E-wing from Legends.
Yeah. So again, super interesting.
Kind of looks like a Battlestar Galactica ship.
It does. Yeah. You see where the inspiration's come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another little golden nugget that I noticed, what I found really on the internet, to be fair, is where she's speeding along. If you go to about 53, she's got some writing on a helmet. So again, you can research that, see what language it is and what it says. And off the top of my head, I think it said BAEB. No idea what that stands for. Well, yeah.
Because she's a babe.
We also see that she's got the picture of and I forget what it's called now, in Jedi Survivor.
The Loth Cat.
That's on there. And also notice her badges as well on her arm.
Oh, I didn't look.
She's got some insignia on her badges. But yeah, cool ships, cool speeder. And again, just before we stop it on 101, where she's talking to Hera, if you notice in the hologram as well, when she's talking Hera, she's got her rank badge on.
Oh, look at you noticing all badges and stuff. But that's like where you come from.
5 dots, yeah. So it's got the 5 dots, and I'm not sure what rank that is. Is it General, that 5 dots?
Yeah, because in Rogue One, they call for General Syndulla over the PA system.
Oh, yeah.
So this would be after that. So this would be General Syndulla.
Like
so she's
years later,
this is what I'm thinking. Is she still a general, or she's been promoted even further now?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I'm not
good
sure.
Point there, Jimmy. She's obviously got some form of rank, so she's still part of the Republic fleet.
Yeah. Do you guys think they're going to put in some of the script from Rangers of the Republic, that show that got canceled? So I feel like they're putting a little bit in there with Hera and like the New Republic discussions, because like you think of Ahsoka and you don't think of that side of it. So there might be like a little bit of 2 different stories going on, like we had in Andor, because that was so successful, right?
Who knows? I think this is going to be. I think season 1 is not going to be as action packed as I'm thinking to begin with, because it's going to be a big build up.
Yeah,
for the movies.
Gotta start building some storylines here.
Well,
yeah. So speaking of the storylines, Hera and Ahsoka's conversation. I know who can help you, right? And I think this is what I mean. I know in that 10-minute clip that no one will ever see, we talked about this, and Ahsoka talks about walking away from the Jedi Order.
Yeah,
just like she walked away from Anakin, she also walked away from Sabine, and then we'll, in the next clip, we'll kind of get into what that all means.
Yeah,
but it had huge implications. It's already started some back and forth online. I from what I've seen.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
kind of sounds like Ahsoka's having a bit of a like doubting herself moment too, which we don't usually get with Ahsoka. She's usually so confident up front and knows what she's doing, right? But it sounds like she's like, I walked away from, the Order, and now I walked away from Sabine, and Hera's like a mom now. She's like, Ahsoka, I know what you need to do, and you know it too. You know what I mean? So
no, you're not
next
wrong.
scene is her going back, and Sabine's like, "You're gonna come talk back to me? Like what? Like you're gonna come apologize to me?" So I feel like they had something too. But also, before we push play on the next one, Ahsoka's droid that she's got on her ship with her, our Clone Wars watchers will know who that is. That is, what is it? Huyang? Huyang. Okay, so he was the droid that would be on. I guess I can't. What's the ship's name? Doesn't matter.
I'm blanking
the
on
Crucible.
It right now.
He's on the vessel, the Crucible, and he would always take the Jedi younglings to Ilum to get their crystals, and then on the way back, he would help them build their lightsabers on the shuttle on the way back. So he has been around for a very long time in the Jedi Order.
Voiced by David Tennant, right?
And that's who did it in the show too, right?
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Another Doctor Who doctor making his way into the Star Wars. They brought him back. We'll be curious to see too, is there has not been a mention of Huyang in the High Republic yet. So I'd be curious to see if Phase 3 we don't get a mention.
Good show.
Yeah,
so it has to be somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So all right, are you guys ready to start the next part?
Oh, yeah, let's
let's
do
do it.
From Sabine.
You never made things easy for me, Master.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can. But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut. Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain. You have no power.
Awesome. So that's the next bit done from 101 to 144. So, you never made things easy for me, Master.
Master!
Oh. There
What
it
does it
was.
all mean? What does it all mean? What is going on? We know Ahsoka was not an easy Padawan. To me, I
No.
thought she was like the female version of Anakin, essentially.
Yeah, they
I don't
were.
I think.
Yeah. I don't know about
I think
you
that's why
guys.
she got her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. Every time I used to see Anakin disobey or upset Obi-Wan, even though I knew the outcome, I was like, just do what you're told.
Yes.
The military guy.
Yeah. And I got the same way with Ahsoka in Clone Wars. Because again, we don't really know what's happening with Ahsoka, but I think she's going to have her hands full if it is the case that she's training Sabine. What do you reckon, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm telling you what, I've had some good conversations with people. Some people think she was just kind of teaching her lightsaber stuff. But I'm like, you wouldn't call her master because, like, when Kanan works with her on the Darksaber stuff in Rebels, she doesn't call him master, right?
No, she doesn't.
And she straight up calls her master, and I mean, I just don't know how there's any room for, like, maybe there is, but I'll be surprised. But yeah, to misinterpret that. But yeah, that's exciting. I know there's some people who aren't very happy about it online, but boy, that's going to be.
Who knows?
I mean, like, I'm sitting there watching and getting goosebumps all over again. I can't wait.
Well, there's even like a scene where Sabine has her hand out, like it's like, oh, does she actually have a little bit force sensitivity, like where she just like, no, don't strike me down? Like it's like, what's happening?
I'm not falling for it again because this could just be editing wizardry.
It's exactly.
We don't know the conversation before that, during that, and after that. That could just be pure wizardry of editing and putting two things together to make it sound like that.
Oh, 100%, because the first thing that cuts to is that scene with her listening to Ezra, and it's like being a Jedi, I mean, it just kind of drives it into your mind. But the end of that at 144 is when Shin Hatzi's about to chop her in half, and Shin's like, "You have no power." So maybe she's reminding her that you aren't a Jedi.
Like,
I don't know. I think you could be 100% right too, Jack. That's why I'm just, I know we're talking about breaking it down, but I'm just going to take it as I get it.
Yeah, what if she's like trying to be a Jedi to find Ezra, and like it's like, no, it's not working out. It's not working out. And Ahsoka just leaves.
So a couple of golden nuggets. So 105, where Sabine goes underneath the E-wing and you see the astromech droid. I believe that's like a prototype droid of R2 as a toy, I think, or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
The next little bit, which you sort of alluded to, so the part where they're talking over the map table.
They don't.
So the next little bit where they're talking over the map table, I'm trying to work out planets and stuff like that and what things are. So that I'm again asking to the explorers, what planet do you think that is?
Mm-hmm.
Again, an absolute golden nugget. And this is one for you, Jimmy, I think, as well as you, Taylor, actually, to be fair. The part where she's kneeling in front of a helmet and she starts to cut her hair before she goes.
Yeah.
Who was the last person to do that?
Kanan.
Kanan did that before he went and died. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a real Kanan vibe from that when I saw it. And it's funny, too, because I couldn't think of where I'd seen it before. I'm like, I've seen this in Star Wars, like this whole, like almost like samurai-esque type, cutting her hair. I love the fact that she does it that way. Like, you know, she just slices it off and it's just like, I'm ready to go. Let's get to business. And
I just watched the Mulan cartoon with my daughter, and Mulan has to like cut her hair so that she looks like a guy or whatever right before she goes away to war. So that's kind of the same there too, but it's different.
I think Taylor should get a really sharp knife and reenact this scene and tell us how hard it is to cut all that hair.
Let's go for it! All of my blue, beautiful locks.
Yeah, we could have Sabine here as well. The next interesting bit I found about the trailer as well is the part where she's fighting the first Sith that you see in 124. We know it's a Sith.
Inquisitor.
They've got, Inquisitor. You know it's an Inquisitor because they've got a red blade. The other thing that they're fighting at the same time is a droid. But it's interesting that they're fighting in some form of shipyard. And again, it could be Corellia. I might be reading too much into it. Something else I might be reading too much into. I guess it's an interesting point for you, Taylor, is if you watch Ahsoka when she fights, she's quite angry. So she looks like she's tapping into that dark side a bit more because she's no Jedi.
Maybe can you imagine if they pulled the whole Grey Jedi thing and they were like, yes, we're making a canon. There's such thing as Grey Jedi.
I think it's going to happen. And then the next little bit, just quickly as well, get you talking, is 1:30 where the T-Wing breaks through the clouds and I think she's being chased by something. A space whale.
Oh.
Yeah. You can see it. If you pause it, you can see it. It's huge.
It looks really cool.
And that's
massive.
Yeah. And this is why it fueled my theory about Thrawn being able to essentially capture a whale and use them.
Oh.
Because you don't just come across those. I always thought you came across them in hyperspace, but this, to me, this whale's on a planet because there's clouds.
Yeah. It's like that
so it isn't captured.
The episode from Rebels where they were saving them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great shout, Jimmy. So it looks like it could be another rescue mission because maybe they know where Ezra is and they need the whales to get to Ezra, maybe.
Or maybe Ezra is talking to them.
That would be crazy. Yeah, what if the whales are like seeking them out? Like Ezra sent them to find them or something, like a Harry Potter owl delivery, but it's a Purgle delivery.
Purgle delivery.
Like that movie. What's that movie? I can't even think of it right now. It's like monster hunting sea beast where they're like riding across the ocean in its mouth.
The next bit, 136, the bit was going crazy for at Celebration. Seeing the man himself.
This is the first.
What's your thoughts on it, Jimmy? Go on. What's your thoughts on his face? What did you think when you first saw it?
I mean, I think it looks fine. I'm not 100% like, oh, that's Thrawn to me. I think it looks good. I think it's cool that they got that actor. And, you know, there's always a little bit of twisting and turning when you're taking stuff from live action, from animation to live action. Things are going to be a little bit different. But I'm not going to give Disney an easy out though, because there's a lot of people online who like made Cad Bane look better. They made Luke look better. So they could have done something to kind of make him a little bit, even the Inquisitor. So I think he looks fine. And people who don't know him will be blown away by it. It's cool to see him. But yeah, I'd say I'm like 75% happy.
I'm about 20 to 30% below you.
I don't know.
Oh, dang.
I don't know. How do you make a blue-faced guy who has huge cheekbones in animation? It's not that. I don't know. He looks like he's had a few too many curly nails, I guess. Like,
he has been exiled for a while. Maybe he's lost a little weight or something. You know?
No,
he had some.
With his same uniform on, though.
It's gonna kill me, and we might even end up getting anti-comments, whatever. But I just see Data. It's a blue Data.
Oh, you're not wrong.
That is a blue Data.
Look like a blue. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. So
shoot me down, Explorers, but
well, I think though what'll save it is when his voice comes out.
Yeah.
I think that will be, because I mean that's the one thing, you know, you had the stuff with Ahsoka in season 2 of Mando, and I wasn't real super pumped the first time I watched that episode, just because I didn't, you know, there were some little things that people were like, you're being too picky. I'm like, well, you know, but maybe when his voice comes out.
Yeah,
and you hear Thrawn.
Well, I listened to like a mini interview with this actor. He's also the same actor that played the voice of Thrawn. Yeah. So he was saying like everyone's expecting me to be this crazy Thrawn character, and he's like, honestly, I'm just going to tone it down because you don't use the same energy into like a live action character than you do in voice. No. So we'll see. We'll see.
He's not a crazy character anyway. He's cool, calm.
He's cool, no, but he's got like such an accent, and it's like mistress. And I don't think he's going to be quite as much. Like I think he's going to be a little bit more evil. So we'll see. Or I've seen some things where people are like, he's going to totally be the good guy in the end because he doesn't want the Empire to actually come back. And like, who knows? Who knows?
I'm telling you, he does what's good. Well, he always people are gonna. They've only seen him in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
He does what his Chiss people need, and so if he thinks at the end, and I was still convinced that like the Empire was going to get too powerful, and he was going to help take them down from the inside because he was worried about the Chiss ascendancy. So
keep going with that, Jimmy.
There's a possibility. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with Dave Filoni if we get the Chimera pops out and there's a whole fleet of Chiss in your brain, and then Eli Vanto's on there, and just. So I mean, I'm getting chills right now.
I'm going to build on what you're talking about there, because again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Chiss, are they not the pure blood Sith?
What?
The Chiss?
Research that, explorers. The Sith, the actual Sith, I'm sure it's Chiss, are actual pure-blooded Sith. So back in the old Republic, because obviously I've Star Wars Online Republic, the Chiss is a race that they were the pure-blooded Sith. Yeah. Now, going with what Jimmy's just talking about there, and how many Chiss have we seen so far, Jimmy?
Well, just the one.
So where's all the rest, you think? Who could have destroyed more?
Well, I mean, in the books, they're out there, but they're like in the unknown regions, like the Chiss Ascendancy, and there's a lot of stuff. I haven't finished those books. They got too, I don't know. It was a little drawn out for my sake, but I don't know. But I mean, I've not heard that, but
I'm
sure because it's I might be completely wrong, but there is a species of pure-blooded Sith.
They're tied into the Force when they're younger because they're called Skywalkers, and that's how they navigate. But then they lose their Force powers once they get older.
Yeah. But,
so I don't know.
And then the last thing before we move on is, again, just sticking with that one scene where you first see him. If you look to his right-hand shoulder, your left as you look at it, there's some form of helmet on there.
Oh, I see it.
What helmet's that?
It just looks like a regular Stormtrooper helmet, doesn't it?
Who knows? Who knows?
I just see the black. It's like blurry, so all I see is black, but it looks like, it could be a Clone Wars.
Oh man, I can't see it.
Cool, right.
It's right beside the fire.
We'll move on to the last little bit then.
Most exciting chunk. Let's do it.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Awesome. So we've just finished watching the last couple of seconds of the trailer.
So good.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Start us off.
Second mention, Anakin spoke highly of you, Baylan says in Ahsoka's retort. I'm not here to discuss my past. The fact that Baylan Skoll knows Anakin.
Yeah.
Does he? I mean, there's so many things just from that one line. Like, I don't know, maybe we're becoming super nerds or something. I don't know if I'd ever thought about it. Like, but just the connection, like, imagine like Baylan and like maybe Baylan was, well, they'd probably be close to the same age, right?
I think so.
That's where I'm getting a little confused. I'll be perfectly honest with the timeline with like how old is Baylan? So he's going through the Clone Wars, obviously. What's his story? Shin, who is at the end of the last section, how old is she? Is she his Padawan before Order 66? Does he find her after Order 66? Like, I think there's so many things.
I don't think she was old enough to even be around for that.
No, I don't.
So
Interesting point.
I'm telling you, like, there's so much. Like, there's got to be a comic or something that comes out. But there's just so many questions. And then to tie, to bring that out, does he know he's Vader, or did he know he was Vader? I guess I should say. Just there is so many. I mean, it's just God. The writing in this, I kind of busted on Dave Filoni. I think last time we talked about is sometimes his he really follows George Lucas, because sometimes his script writing, his dialogue is a bit ropey, but man, that was succinct, to the point, and it's got my head spinning. So what do you guys think?
Go on, Taylor.
About that last.
I honestly, I was kind of trying to figure out the timeline, and I think he would be the same age as Anakin, if not like a little bit younger, but I think he would have been a Jedi Knight. I don't think he would have been a Padawan. Because I don't know, like, because Anakin didn't really get along with kids, right? So even when he had the episodes where he had to talk to Padawans, he was like all weirded out, right? So I think it had to be somebody who was on Coruscant a lot, because that's kind of where Anakin and Obi-Wan were based out of. I know there's lots of different temples everywhere. But yeah, I think he was a Jedi Knight at the time. Maybe he just wasn't at the temple or something, but he got through it, got out of it. Also, all of us just finishing kind of reading this whole phase 2 of the High Republic, we will find out that there is actually a lot of different religions that revolve around the Force and stuff like that. So, we know he has the Force because he's throwing like the people down the hallway with the Force. I'm not imagining that someone's kicking him that far, right?
Taylor, you just blew my mind on that. What if he escapes and becomes a follower of a different religion of the Force?
There was so many. There was
nuts.
Like Brothers of the Ninth Door. There's all of these. There's
the
Church of the Force. There's so many different ones that we don't even really get into. Battle of Jeddah kind of gets into it a little bit.
Comic talks about it a lot. That 10-run series has a lot of the stuff there. I know we've talked about it. And of course, it's all escaping me right now because
I'm reading it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's a really good point, Taylor.
Yeah, because really, like, back to the orange blade thing again. They have orange lightsabers. Like, they're not red, so I don't think they're Sith. And they're like, we're not Jedi. Like, don't even. Like, maybe the guy was like, are you Jedi? Because, like, they're not quite red. It's like, no. Like, impale. Oh, I've been impaled. But yeah, they're obviously a bit evil because they're just, like, killing the hell out of people. Are we assuming that they are breaking the magistrate out of New Republic jail?
I think
that's how it might start, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they are. I think that's why they're in this big fight with the Republic, or with the New Republic on the ship and stuff, because they're breaking her back out because Ahsoka put her in there, right?
Good show.
But yeah, so who knows? They could be of some different religion. I think he definitely did know Anakin if he brought him up twice. And speaking of Anakin, well, we know we're getting Hayden Christensen. Let's just be honest. His name has now come up twice. And when you search Hayden Christensen on IMDb, Ahsoka is right there in his list of what he's been in. So we know he's going to be there. We don't know if we're getting like flashback. Oh my God. Whew. Sorry, I just had like a major like heart getting really excited because we could get a flashback of him and Ahsoka like training.
What do you reckon, Jimmy?
I hope she's right. I hope they do better CGI or de-aging than they did in Kenobi.
Yeah.
But
the wrinkles that he does now.
Yeah, I know. It's like, good Lord. But yeah, that would be pretty sick if maybe they read. I'm not. This is the problem with having flashbacks is Ahsoka's going to be this tall, she's going to be young.
Maybe they'll get Ashley Eckstein to play her.
Ahsoka or something. But I mean, you've seen a lot of, you go to Disney, you go to Galaxy's Edge, there was an Ahsoka there, and that girl was like phenomenal looking as far as like looking like a young Ahsoka. They could do it with the makeup. But
I love seeing the Ahsokas.
To see them, or maybe even have that scene of, because you have Rex and all that scene where from Tales of the Jedi where he's training her.
Yeah.
If you see that live action, I mean, I just think there's a lot of possibilities. And again, I know we're going to do a prediction show the Sunday before the show comes out. So it'll come out on Tuesday, then the show come out Wednesday, and we can see how. I would be super pumped to see that. The training montage or something, some kind of words of wisdom. I don't want to see Force Ghost Anakin. I'll be honest. I don't think. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd rather see a flashback than see Force Ghost Anakin.
Yeah,
that's going to bring up so much hate on the internet. It's not going to be worth it.
Yeah,
yeah. I think. Now I can't remember what book it is now, but Anakin does come back and talk to Luke. Is it in the that book you're reading right now, Jimmy?
Shadows of the Sith.
I have not gotten that far yet, so
okay. Maybe it's not, but there is a book out there where Anakin comes back and talks to.
I don't think we're going to see any Ghost
Luke,
Jedi anyway.
So.
The only two nuggets I've got from that last little bit, really, or what I'm thinking about, is we know that the Inquisitor at the end is called Marok. Marok.
How did we get that info?
It was released not long ago. And when Ahsoka's fighting Marok, is it me, or can you hear the breathing of Darth Vader?
I'm going to have to listen to it again.
So again, that'll be another one for you explorers out there. Let us know what you think. Obviously, we know that Baylan knows Anakin, so again, that's a massive point. At what point did they cross paths? They've obviously spoken at some stage. But again, it's Anakin, most famous Jedi in Jedi history. So everyone have had some sort of tie-in with Anakin. I did see a little rumour that Marok, this was before he was named, could be Ezra.
No.
Who knows? Look at the body, look at the stance he is as well. It'd fit him, I think, maybe. Who knows?
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's Star Killer.
And if you look at the battle, when Ahsoka's fighting him and she brings the lightsaber down, again, is it anger that she's using and she grits her teeth, or is it shock because it is somebody that she knows? Again, that's what fuels that Ezra rumour. But who knows? We're just chucking these golden nuggets out there. One, because it's funny watching Jimmy going, "Oh my god," and two, because it's just more points to talk
Jimmy's
about.
Eyes go.
Yeah, the highlight of this episode is just Jimmy. You can just see Jimmy like, "Oh, what about that?" So tune in next week where Jimmy's destroyed his nephew Hank with his theories, and they've wrote it all over the walls like a mind map.
It'll be like a beautiful mind just gone crazy. Hairs everywhere.
But yeah, I think as you can see, we are super, super hyped for the trailer. Please, like we always say, please leave all your comments, anything, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. We want to hear it all, positive and negative. Let us know your thoughts on Thrawn as well, what you think of the live action stuff. Let us know as well if you've researched that stuff we were talking about, what you found out for us. Again, Instagram, Explore the Force. Facebook, Explore the Force. TikTok now, Explore the Force, Jimmy.
Threads at Explore the Force.
Threads,
we have that now.
Email.
So let us know. Email us at exploretheforce@gmail.com. Whatever you want. We want to talk to you. We like to get a little bit more fan engagement, especially with all this stuff coming out. I know we're not the only ones whose minds are melting from watching this trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a few shout outs to give today on our what you thought of Ahsoka's second trailer on our Facebook, and we have some on Instagram. On Facebook, we have Jake Crafton, as always, one of our top top listeners. He gets an award, that guy. High five. That Dave Filoni must be protected at all costs. And also the Purgle scene. Yes, that was so good. Yeah. And you know what? I had to pause it to actually see what was kind of happening there. Because if you're looking at it on a dark phone, you don't see it. You just see a bunch of clouds. So you got to really pause it and look at every shot for shot. So good, good spotting, Jake.
If you haven't watched the trailer on a big TV or big screen, you're missing out.
Jake also posted a big old paragraph of what he thought was going to happen. So we'll keep those in check. We'll keep those in line because we're going to probably come back to that after when we talk about what we think is going to happen on the actual show. But we've also got Darren Briscoe who says, "Bring it," with 3 people liking that. So yes, Bring it. We're very excited. And David Ferguson says, looks exciting, dark and gritty. Yes.
Yes, very cool.
It does look dark and gritty. Even the music is like sad, but the music looks like it sounds so good. What do we have on Instagram, Jimmy?
On Instagram, we got Magic with Bentley. He says, I wondered the same thing, but I think she was trying to be kind of a smart beep or like Snips. So, so maybe she was just being snarky. Yeah, we're talking about this was specifically is Sabine a Padawan to Ahsoka? So maybe she was just being a little bit snarky.
Snips Snips, Ahsoka was so snarky to Anakin, but Anakin was back, like he wasn't nice to her, so it just all fits, it all rhymes. It's
it would be cool. But yes, thanks for the shout outs, folks. Make sure, with all the likes and things like that, let us know what you think, and we will read it.
Yeah, we want you guys to get on the conversation with us, and then we'll share what you guys think as well. So you can also send us a voice note to our email, and then we'll share that on the show as well if you're confident enough. But we weren't that confident when we started this either, so we want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, thanks again for tuning in with us, and as always, Taylor.
For light and life.
I fear nothing, for all is as the Force wills it.
We have spoken.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
All right, can't wait.
Yeah.